right, y'all. Thank you all for coming in and seeing another edition of Just a Couple of Guys at the Movies. This is me, your host, Frank Holder. Today, we're getting ready to review Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And for those of you who've been living under a rock somewhere or something, and I don't know, maybe you're not paying attention to what's going on around and you don't know what's going on, here's the trailer. We're going to play the trailer right about now.
Only the most broken people can be great leaders.
His people did not call him general or king. They called him Kukulkan, the feather serpent god. Killing him will risk eternal war.
He's coming for the surface world.
We know what you whisper. They have lost their protector. Now is our time to strike. Show them who we are.
Okay, now that you've seen the trailer, let's get ready to jump into the episode of Just a Couple of Guys at the Movies. And let me bring in a guy who's been on this show with us before. He's famously known for being on Def Comedy Jams, been in the movies. He's one of the best hosts, and he hosts all across the country. He does everything, everywhere, all the time. My man known as Talent, the comedian, who's on the road and decided to take some time to sit down with us. T, what's up, man? How you doing, sir?
Yo, that's the best intro ever. He does everything, everywhere, all the time, B.
I gotta remember that.
That's dope right there. He does everything, everywhere, all the time.
Yeah,
that covers it all, right?
Yeah, because it's not like I lied. You do everything.
No, I like it though. It's perfect.
You do everything. You're everywhere, and you do it all the time. So I can't even say more than that. So let's jump into it, man. You know, I know you're a big film buff. That's why I wanted you to join on this. This is what we call comedy at the movies, because we always have comedians give us comedy reviews and everything else. We're doing Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. The film, as we all know, stars Lolita Wright, Lupita Nyong'o, Danai Gurira, Winston Duke, and my girl Angela Bassett, who people are saying probably might be in the conversation to be one of the first actresses ever nominated for an Oscar for a film that's basically a comic book movie. So before we even dive into that, T, talk to me, man. Tell me what you think about Black Panther Wakanda Forever. What was your first initial thoughts when you walked out of the theater?
Well, first of all, you got to understand, Frank, I went into this with a little apprehension of comparing it to The Woman King, because two great actresses, like you just said, Angela Bassett, I can't take nothing away from her performance. She did her thing and then some. Overall, I thought it was okay. I think I was expecting better. I think I wanted it to be a little better, but it was a couple of pieces in there to me that I found a problem with believability, if you will. You know, to me, especially with a superhero. First of all, superheroes already this astronomical playing field. So if you're going to do that and pull it off and make me feel like it's really possible, it's got to have a lot of believability. And I think some of it lacked believability. But overall, not a bad film. A long film, 3 hours. So get ready, set your schedule. like I had to do. Frank was like, "You gonna go see it?" I'm like, "Frank, hold on, bro. Let me find 3 hours.
Everything, everywhere, all the time."
Let me find 3 hours. That hour and a half movie all day. I could do it every day. But that 3, you asking me to watch, stay for 2 and 1. So I think on a scale of 1 to 10, bro, I'll give it a 7.5.
Oh, okay, 7.5 is not bad. They're saying, you know, that Black Panther Wakanda Forever was better than the Doctor Strange movie that came out this year. Where would you rate it with that? You know what I mean? With the Doctor Strange, because, you know, Marvel's in this new phase, you know. Right. So where would you rate it?
Nah, Doctor Strange was good, though. Doctor Strange, I'll give it probably a point up on it. Like, so Doctor Strange is 8.5 to me. Because we're dealing with a lot of CGI, you know, right. So we're dealing with a lot of computer-generated images and stuff for the effects and the action and all that. So they both were filled with a lot of that. But Doctor Strange, somehow they come up with these cute little storylines. Doctor Strange and them deals with time. You know what I mean? Portholes and times and all that. So it fit. Like the storyline fit Doctor Strange and, you know, the opening the portals, going back in time to fix this and this gets messed up. So it kind of fit more. This one here, I think we all were apprehensive of adjustments because obviously the elephant in the room, we lost Black Panther. We lost T'Challa. So I think they did an okay job. But like I said, other than a couple of components of not believing it, it's not a bad movie.
So let me ask you this. What do you think about Lolita Wright's performance in this film? Because a lot of it, without giving anything away, a lot of it fell on her shoulders because she basically is the younger sister of T'Challa. And, you know, obviously the kingdom was falling on her shoulders. And before I even walked in the movie theater, I was like, I wonder how they're going to try to tie this up. And then how would Angela Barrett's character as the queen, how she would basically deal with this? Because we all saw the clips. We all saw the trailer, you know, and like the trailer we just showed, you know, she says certain things in the trailer that lead you to believe that they're going to have a lot of sadness and everything else. So how do you think she handled it?
Well, as a young actress, I think her acting was impeccable. When she was, again, to go back to what I said about believability, when she was herself and doing her acting chops, flawless. Mm-hmm. She was great. She was exactly who she was before, you know, extended fast forward. So she was great at that. It's when she was forced to do other things where you start to lack the believability, if you will, and be like, I'm not buying that part. You know, but acting as the sister and the tech whiz that she was, it was dope to see her do that. You know, how she does that, because that's how real nerds are. Like, nerds are smarter than us, so they really be like checking us without checking us. You know, ignorance of tech. Right. So she was that person. So I love her character. But like I said, she was just put in some positions in this movie that make you go, nah, I'm not good. Ain't no way in the world I'm believing that. You know what I mean? So other than that, I give her an 8. And the only reason I don't give her a 10 is because when people that didn't see it, when you see it, you go, oh, this must be what he's talking about.
Okay, all right. So we won't even break. We don't want to give something away about that. So now let's get to the big question and the elephant in the room, man. Angela Bassett, do you think she will get a nomination for an Oscar because of her performance? And before you give I'll say that I want to throw this out there before you even tell me what you think. I think she did give one of the best performances. Is it Oscar worthy? I'm not sure if it's Oscar, but it definitely could be mentioned in the conversation. Because, you know, when the Oscars come out, it's with real people with real emotion. And Angela did, like, she checked off all the boxes to me. I mean, you know what I mean? I think she did.
But you check all the boxes, but the problem is it's a superhero movie.
Right. That's the problem.
So that bumps you back so many steps that makes it even harder to do. And again, I go back to what I said in the beginning. Their problem with that is going to be what I said. The problem is going to be, if you give her an Oscar nod, you got to give Viola an Oscar nod for the Woman King. And because one is a little more close to factual and truth, and one is, you know, dreamland with superheroes and Marvel and comic books, I don't see an Oscar. I mean, I wouldn't be mad. I'd be real happy. Like, yeah, she did that. Ain't nobody gonna fight it because her acting chops was there. But I think what does you a disservice for that award is when you are in a Marvel or a superhero movie.
Yeah, but Viola might get an Oscar nod for The Woman King.
Well, that would make sense though. But that would make sense because it's not a superhero movie. Okay. It's actual. It's a half fact-based movie that's embellished, but it's a fact. The storyline is factual. You know what I mean?
All right.
African slave trade and inside, it's told from the inside out instead of the way we always see it.
Right. So 2 more questions. Winston Duke's performance, everything else. Did you like him? Because he came in, his character in the comic books is a lot more serious, and here he seemed like to be a lot more comedic and everything else. Brought a lot more funniness to what was definitely a serious movie. Were you leaving his character? Were you going along with what he was trying to portray and the way the character was written, or did you not like that?
That's my dude, big dude?
Yeah, Winston Duke.
I liked it because you know what made his character so real, coming in comedically? You got to realize, remember part where he gets ass beat?
Yeah.
So he had to get his ass beaten to submission to the role he is now. So now he's on some, okay, your brother beat me. I had the promise to stand up for the whole Wakanda thing and everything. So he was coming from the perspective of whatever y'all want to do, man. You know, but he was giving you that other side now. Think about it.
Yeah.
What if they do this? Keep in mind, this is coming from a dude who just had his ass whooped part 1.
Right.
So he's coming from a different perspective. And I thought, to me, behind the CGI, a lot of the effect stuff with Marvel, my favorite part of all the Marvel movies is the way, I think they have a dope way of threading the humor.
Mm-hmm.
Comedian, I super appreciate that. And that's why I always support and go see it, because a lot of these superhero movies, like, they got one thing, one direction. They give the superheroes, the special effects, boom, the end. Marvel has a way that, from everything from Iron Man to, you know, the Avengers to the Hulk, they've always had a way of threading the humor. And this one, a lot of it was him.
Yeah, 100%. Last question. Actually, I'm going to do a 2-part question. One, did you like the actor who played Namor? For those of you who don't know, his name is Tenoch Huerta. It's his first big role. Actually, looked like it's his first role in the film at all. Do you like his performance? And finally, part 2 to this question is: would you recommend this movie for people to go see it and and spend that money? Because we all know when you go to the movies, you're going to spend about $60, $80, $100 to go see, because you got to go to eat, you got to park, you got to do. You know what I mean? Is it worth all of that? Is it worth bringing wifey or honey, whatever?
First of all, his role. How lucky is that to be your first role and it's the main villain in the biggest release of the year for Marvel? I mean, that he did a hell of a job. That whole component to the movie I thought was so dope, because when you start to watch these, and we've watched a lot, we watched about 4 Iron Mans, 5 Hulks, and we don't watch a lot. So at this point, we need, I think, the element of surprise to stay in locked into Marvel movies. And that is what he played. Him and his people coming into this was like a total element of surprise. And he played it to the tilt, because he was like, I don't want to fight, but I will if I have to. Don't make me, blah, blah, blah. So it was that tug of war of who he was going to be. Because one minute he's the villain, next minute he's, let's work together. Next thing is like, don't make me. The next thing is like, I'm whoop your ass. You know what I mean? So his character was dope. So kudos to him. He gets a 10. How he played that role. Absolutely go see this movie. Absolutely, because first of all, keep in mind my 7.5. I'm a movie buff, so we're a little more critiquing and critical of these numbers. So I'm tight with a 7.5. I think the average person will give it an 8.5, 9. Okay. That's what I'm thinking. The average movie go. Now, you're talking 3 hours of entertainment. Of course you go see this movie and take the family. First of all, if you got little kids, you need something to shut their little asses up for 3 hours. 3 hour break cost you a bucket of popcorn and some Sour Patch Kids. It's worth it. How much is it going to be? You know what I mean? How much is healthcare going to cost you? Pay that little money. Go on the discount day or whatever. See, I'm glad I went on the Thursday in the afternoon, because everything, if it wasn't sold out, you got to deal with all the voices and the hoopla. I had a great time there. I would advise anybody, whether you're family or you do like me sometime, go dolo, or you go as a couple, wifey, your husband. Absolutely, I would recommend people to go see it. And let me say this, Frank. My favorite, as good as this movie was, still my favorite, and it brought a tear to my eye twice, is the intro and outro of how they thread in the Chadwick Boseman thing and pay homage to T'Challa not being there with old clips or whatever. But the way they did it, like, you can't ask for more than that. You know what I mean? People, tragic things happen and we lose people every day. And how many movies go on to the next sequel and you don't hear nothing? They just put that thing at the end in memory of Bob that died behind the camera. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was threaded nice. So it set the tone. And then at the end, it didn't let you forget the tone. Even though we sat through 3 hours, boom, boom, blowing it up. Let's not forget my man. So, and it said our friend at the end, which was dope.
Yeah, that was really, really dope. Well, T, thank you for taking up the time in your very busy weekend. I know you are up and about this weekend. You want to tell everybody out there what you got going on this weekend? Because I know you're out and about.
Oh, yes. I'm as soon as I hang up and get off the show, time to shave and line everything up and go to Good Nights Comedy Club, Charlie Good Nights, here in Raleigh, North Carolina. We got a whole weekend of shows, 5 shows. We rocking tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. A couple of my good buddies is on the show with me. That's the good thing you most enjoy about being a headliner is you get to pick people and give them opportunities, you know, so you surround you. So I always my analogy for this is always like, if I'm the boss in the office in corporate America, I'm not surrounding my cubicle with other cubicles of people I don't like. Right. I'm putting people I like around me. So shout out to Ray DeJean, shout out to my man Ace Brown, who lives in North Carolina now, who's originally from Jersey. We're going to put it down, and a lot of comedians coming through, get some guest spots out, and we're going to have a good time. My man Genuine is in town, ladies, so you might want to pop through the show. I'm surprised some people, you know, with Genuine in the building.
There it is. There it is. Do me a favor, take a lot of pictures. That way, I get to use some of these pictures and all that stuff too. I appreciate all that. Thank you for taking out the time, everybody. That's Talent, the comedian known as Talent, also Talent Harris. You all know what he's doing. You already know how to find him. If you don't, he's all over social media because he's everywhere all the time doing everything. That's my man. Thanks a lot, T. I take care. Take care. All right, y'all. That is my man Talent. You all know what he does and everything else. So right now, before we even dive into your audience reactions, let's give you a sneak peek at another trailer we're looking at this week. Here it is.
I used to ask myself a lot of questions. Scott, you're at ex-con. How are you an Avenger? That doesn't make sense. But everywhere I go, people tell me the same thing.
Thank you, Spider-Man.
People still need help, Dad. That's why we made this. It's like a satellite for deep space, but quanta.
Wait a minute. You're sending a signal down to the quantum realm. Turn it off. Now!
Secret universe beneath ours.
What are you so afraid of? There's something I never told you.
This place, it isn't what you think. I can get you home and give you more time. If you help me, so what's it gonna be? Ant-Man.
Okay, we're back. You guys saw the trailer. Yeah, we pretty anxious to see that film too. We're going to have a lot of stuff to talk about with that too. So before we roll up out of here, let's give you guys the audience reactions of what you guys said at Wakanda Forever, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, because we were at the theaters. So you guys tell us what you thought.
Oh, I thought the movie was great. It was amazing. It was very sad at the end, but yeah, it was really
Very good. Okay.
Very good.
All right.
Spectacular. I absolutely loved it.
I thought it was amazing. It was just so beautiful to see how they incorporated the Black Panther Chadwick into it throughout the film. I just felt like they really honored him, and overall the movie was amazing, but just to think about the legacy that he left behind as a human being or artist.
Wonderful. The performances were amazing. Marvel made me cry. It was a fantastic successor, and thank goodness for giving thanks to Chad, because he was the reason for this movie.
I don't know. There's no words to describe it. It was just very emotional, but it was great to see everybody. It was great to see the continuation of Black Panther 1 and it evolved. So it was a great movie.
I thought it was a great story. I think they did a really good job of sort of honoring Chadwick's memory, and I thought that it was a very compelling story, especially for a Marvel movie.
It was good.
You liked it? Can you talk a little bit more?
It was exciting, refreshing. I feel like the dedication to this movie was a good tribute to Chadwick Boseman.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was a beautiful film. The cinematography was incredible, and I think that the storyline that they had was really incredible.
Bring tissues. Mind blowing at the end. Definitely going to see it probably 2 or 3 more times.
Oh, okay. Do you want to? You got to take the mask off, homie. Come on, take the. Okay. What do you think of the movie?
I'm definitely going to see it more than her, but either way, a lot of good points. Definitely worth the wait. It's just very suspenseful all the way to the end, and I like it.
That was a 1,000 out of 10. Must watch again. That was top tier, the best movie of the year, obviously.
Okay, so that's what everybody said. That's what everybody thinks. That's what everybody thought. A lot of people, honestly, we interviewed a lot more people than you guys saw in that. And we didn't find one person who didn't like that film. And we didn't find one person who did not like the homage to Chadwick Boseman. And we were at a theater and we asked about 50, 60 people. You know what I mean? We can only edit so many to be able to fit in the show. So we were surprised about that. Okay, so now with that being said, we out of here. Next week, we got another trailer for you, a brand new trailer, and we got another film to review. You are watching Just a Couple of Guys at the Movies. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys again. Take care.